Alright, I have a question for you guys, right? I want you to answer me the most honest possible way that you can. Alright? Since when the love that you show someone, especially someone that is the closest to you, like your mother or a son or a daughter, since when the love that you show someone is measured or should be measured by the love that someone else is showing to the same person? Meaning, since when you have to look at someone else and the compassion and love that is showing to someone, to a loved one, to measure how much love that you then should show and give to that same person? I asked this question because of, yesterday there was a big story that broke, right? And we had an opportunity to speak on it. We had an opportunity to interview the person at the center of this whole controversy, Ragga, right? And one of the things that he said was that, and don't quote me on it, to the extent that, he have 10 or 14 brothers and sisters or whatever it is, and they're not showing the love either, or as much or at all to his mother. The interview went on, and I pressed him on, have he spoken to his mother recently? He explained, and if you guys didn't see the interview, I want you to go back and look at it. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's all over, it's on Rapper Crapper page, it's all over the place. He couldn't answer the question. In fact, he didn't answer the question as to if he spoke to his mother lately or recently. Instead of saying he was a setup. So basically, his defense on the topic is that his sisters and other members of his family are basically setting up the mother to show like if she's doing worse off than them, than she actually is, which he negated and said that is not the case. His mother is not living that way. So the next question is basically, so how is she living? How is she doing? He pretty much couldn't answer the question. But the whole interview is there. You guys go and take a look at it. But the reason for asking the question I'd ask at the top, right, is after a few people inbox me and email me and saying, yo, it was a one-sided interview, I was pressing him on that. Some mothers don't give that love. Some mothers don't give that love to their kids, and you have 4 or 5 or 6 other kids that they give love to. But my take on it is that should never measure the amount of love and affection that you should give to her. No matter if your sister is not doing anything about it, that doesn't mean that you should follow your sister or whoever else is not doing, or whoever else is doing less or whatever. That should make no difference in how much you should put out yourself and extend yourself. Someone else inboxed me and they said that, well, you don't see, the mother have 14 or 10 or 14 kids. What happened to the other kids? What happened to the other 9 or 10 or whatever it is? I don't get the full number. Everybody's saying a different number. The fact still remains. You can't measure what this person is not doing to figure out how much you should do. As a person, you give, you love, based on the capacity that you have and the ability that you have to love, not measured by how much person is not loving, or how much they are not being affectionate, or how much they are not supporting. The truth and the fact about it is, when we were growing up, all of us, we went through instances where parents made decisions that I don't even think some of them are proud of. The licks we received, the things that was said, parents had it tough. Some parents, not all. A lot of parents had it tough to the point where they did a lot of things. Some of us received beatings then based on how the parents was beaten or how the parents was treated. So they figure out that is the norm. But as the generation go forward, and forward and forward, we look at it differently, and some of us don't beat our kids the same way as how our parents beat us or treat us as a child. So the generational change started to come in with us. But at the same time, you cannot blame your mother, or you should not blame your mother, for the way that you was treated, the way how you was beaten as a child. Now you might think that the reason why she beat you is because she hates you. In your head, you might definitely believe that. And I'm not saying that some parents don't dislike or disown their children. I think some parents, they do. I think some parents, they do a horrible job. But on the whole, you look at parents who discipline their children with belt and sometimes you get a few slap, you know. Some of you guys might even get pot cover in your head. Yo, them kind of thing and them existed at those times. But that is what the parents knew. That is how they was taught. So that was never broken from them. Their mother beat them in the head with a frying pot. They got slapped. They got beaten with whips. And it wasn't long ago. I and probably you was in the same situation growing up in the Caribbean. We know about those things. But some of us grow up as adults and to believe that the reason why the parents did it, the reason why your mother did it, the reason why your father did it was because he don't love you. He dislike you. He hate you. And sometimes that is not always true. Sometimes it's how you might look at it. But the funny thing about it is, right, we grow up as adults and as big men, and a lot of what we felt as a child, and it was something that we believe as a child, it never ever go away. In the interview yesterday, one of the most touching thing that Ragga said, his mother never read a book to him. His mother never say she love him. And although that is true, although that is facts, and it's sad that some parents don't do this to their children, hug the kids and say I love you, it's essential. That doesn't ultimately mean that your mother don't love you or appreciate you. So a lot of times you see people create and develop a certain behavior. You might see people doing a certain things like, yo, this person might have 5 gold chain and 6 earring and gold fronts, and yo, they flossing. And the behavior might be sometimes erratic, and you might not understand, like, why is this person acting like that? Why is this person behaving like that? Sometimes you have to go way back into their youth, their childhood, and then it's clear as day you will see that those are some of the things that they probably was deprived of. They never had as a child. They never grew up with those things. So as an adult, they lavish on it. They get it in as much as. It has the same thing to do with kids that was abused sexually. And that have nothing to do, the abuse sexually part that I'm talking about now has nothing to do with the story. I'm not saying that he was abused sexually at any point, no point at all during the interview he made, we spoke about that. But I'm just saying, kids that was abused sexually, they grow up and they become very, very promiscuous, right? It happens. But what is essential is breaking that cycle. Now, yesterday interview into today, I think that what needs to be done from Ragga point of view, from the kids point of view, is that they need to have a conversation. The family, sometimes we travel out. This one go England, this one go New York, this one go way, this one go way, and we became, the closeness in each of the family become so far apart, and so we don't talk as we used to, we don't communicate as we used to. It is so difficult to coordinate. You never had a family dinner to sit down around the table and talk about the things that you're thankful for and all of that stuff. You don't have that because we're so far apart, and then a lack of communication, and then you feel, you know, it's a misunderstanding because of a lack of communication. But if they're really trying to work this thing out, I think the families go start coming together and start talking to each other and see how they could bridge a stronger gap. But don't judge or don't give based on what your sister is not giving or your brother is not giving. Give to the fullest. In fact, that should give you more of a strength to want to love more, to want to appreciate more, not measured by what she's not doing. So I want you guys go back and watch the interview. I want you to comment as well. And if you know anyone going through the situation, or if you just want to, whatever, you wanna discuss this more, I want you to comment at the bottom. It is something that, as I said yesterday, is not gonna end on a live. It's not gonna end on social media. This is not where it's going to, the conversation is gonna end. This is not where the love and the bridging the gap will end. It takes offline conversation. It takes